Welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Crypto News. I am your host, Dusty BC, and today, oh boy, do we have a lot to discuss. Starting off, Cardano, the price has found some resistance, and today I want to talk about everything that's been going on surrounding Cardano, but of course, I cannot talk about just one coin, about just one small little update. We have a ton of other important crypto news to throw in there, so stay tuned, stay watching, because it's about to be very freaking interesting. Having said that, we are giving away $100 worth of crypto if this video can get to 1,500 likes within 24 hours. And all you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. That is it. Having said that, we have been talking about the Cardano price for a little while. And I've also explained to you guys how you can easily trade this pair, but for right now, guys, Cardano has found some resistance at the previous high at about $1.50, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm actually here to talk about the huge price boost that we saw yesterday, because Cardano's price went to about $1.88. And the reason this happened was because Coinbase Pro just listed it. And very often what happens is that the coin needs to find some sort of price and people overpay for it. And this is often done with the expectation that on other exchanges, the same thing will happen. So if they decide to buy it on here, then on some other exchanges, the price will also follow suit. But also because some people have been waiting for a very long while to just buy some Cardano on a platform like this. And now once they finally got the chance, they want to buy it instantly, hoping for some quick gains. And well, that resulted in a little bit of a pump and dump. And right now, the ADA price has actually found its, I would say, good counterpart, as the prices are really quite the same right now. And then a small little update surrounding Bitcoin, guys. I'm still not opening any positions, still not doing anything crazy. Some of my friends have actually started to open some crazy long positions right now, going for the longer term, or at least I would say actually still a short-term trade. Yeah, medium term. Let's call it medium term here for the next couple of days or so to get themselves a small amount of profit, most likely taking it to right around this area here, still above the previous all-time high, but I'm staying out of it. I think there's one mutual fund of ours which is still trading it, but I'm personally not doing anything because it's not a certainty. It's going to be a little bit of playing around. However, we wanted to stick to ADA here just a little bit, and I still think that this is just a small little dip. I am still buying ADA. So am I doing for Bitcoin, so am I doing for a lot of other coins. For the longer term, I'm just adding to my stash. And I think a lot of people who bought some more ADA right now are still going to get themselves a huge premium over the longer term. As you can see, $1.17 or so, $1.18, what it went to last night, creme de la creme of a price. That is a beautiful price, ridiculously low in my opinion. And again, you can see if you kind of go longer with this line here, you kind of see what ADA's baseline is still. And I would say that this dump here most likely was caused by the huge outflow of money then that kind of happened because of the whole Coinbase ordeal. But it could also be that because the price was very much inflated, first of all due to Coinbase, that right now this correction or so is once more quite logical because people want to take some profits, especially considering how much the price went up in the last couple of weeks. I wouldn't consider it to be crazy for people to take some money out. It is not that odd. The price went up about 50% in 2 days or so. 57% here in 3 days. That is ridiculously high. Then Cardano suffers losses amid profit taken. Once more, articles like this are built to make you doubt or something like that because, well, it's going a little bit lower. Is it really losses? Well, guys, it's all relative, right? It hasn't really gone down that much. And even if you check the 4-hour here, it doesn't really look like Cardano ever fell down or that anything really happened. From that perspective, guys, I'm still extremely bullish. I'm just waiting for a breach to happen here of about $1.50, which is most likely still around the corner. Having said that, here is why ZLQZAA Coin, BAT, and Linear are soaring. So these are some of the guys that actually popped off, some of the coins that did. Linear's token zoomed higher today following its listing on the Binance Innovation Zone. BAT was actually one of the more interesting ones, is gaining support from the right investors, and that can many times make a lot of difference to a project. Therefore, when the Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnenheim announced on March 17th that BAT was one of the 5 tokens added to the Grayscale lineup, it was bound to stir interest amongst the community. And then talking about ZLQZAA Coin or SC, a coin that I personally do not hold too much of. I actually have like a couple dollars worth or so, which I don't even know how I've received it over this time, to honestly be speaking. there's just a small little update of the technicals or fundamentals. Additionally, because this is the first part, which is Skynet Labs and StreamBet entered a partnership with them. Additionally, what gathered or generated greater interest and speculation was that Sia tweeted on March 15th about TikTok creators and their earnings, and then teased to watch out for the big announcements this week, which people got excited about, which often happens with these types of projects when they're not as big. It's easier to kind of pump and dump it up, or at least make the coin perform quite good. Having said that, Andreessen Horowitz leads $23 million round for NFT marketplace OpenSea. Will this new funding round pave the way for OpenSea to become the Amazon of NFTs? This is really interesting. There's a $23 million round for OpenSea. I'm not really sure exactly why OpenSea decided to do this, such a huge funding round. You would think that they're already so huge where they can arrange everything themselves, not wanting to go for outside capital because, well, since everything is online in this sense and that they're scaling appropriately to what they could most likely handle themselves, I would think that they didn't need to go for funding like that, but they're going for it, some private funding, and I think it's a good idea in the end of things because, well, with some knowledge as well from some of these bigger companies, it can definitely get you a lot further. They most likely were debating about this for a very good while, and also just the explosion, explosion? Is that, that doesn't sound right, exposure, there we go, the exposure of this, funding round might actually put in more legitimacy towards it, where again more investors are going to be looking at it, more people will credit it as the leading platform for everything, and maybe that's what they just want to do. They don't want the most amount of money for themselves, but they want to go for the biggest amount of exposure right now to become the #1 NFT platform and stay that way. Then, Messari CEO thinks a fresh wave of crypto regulation could be imminent. This is something to always watch out for, as crypto regulations will almost always hurt the price over a shorter amount of time and most likely boost the price over a longer term time. That is because over the short term, people are afraid of some restrictions and might not like it. Longer term though, Bitcoin and a lot of these other cryptos were made because of some of the heavier rules in the world and some of the restrictions in the normal world, right? For example, Bitcoin, they made a decentralized ledger to not be really restricted to what a bank will allow you to do, and I guess also to hedge against the dollar basically. But the more crypto regulations that come in, the more that will be tempting basically to hold crypto as well. Because again, you're against the system, kind of. Will Engine Coin reach the $3 mark again? If you're honestly asking me that, I think you're on the wrong channel. Engine at $3 is still a low price in my opinion. It's one of the leading NFT coins, and a couple of dollars for this one I still think is very, very low. $10 is still what I think it can eventually get to because NFTs are still popping off. So this coin will most likely keep getting as well, and it's definitely a big part of my portfolio right now. Once more, it's not a big part like XRP or Ethereum or anything like that, but it's still, there's a good amount of money in there purely because I do think it will continue upwards over a medium term. Then Ethereum whales refuse to sell as more Ethereum flows into DeFi. The number of wallets holding over 10k Ethereum has hardly dropped in 4 weeks. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this actually has so much to do with DeFi. All I know, however, is that a lot of these whales are just excited for Ethereum 2.0 to pop up, and they know that $2,000 is still the beginning and $2,500 is most likely still around the corner. So obviously you're not going to sell then, right? Obviously. Then Bank of America claims it costs just $93 million to move Bitcoin's price by 1%. Just? Is it just? Well, I would say that's still a huge amount of money, to be completely honest with you. They're acting or talking about it like it's just 93 million. That's something which you can do freaking easily. Well, you think so, guys? Honestly? You think $93 million is something which you can do that easily? I personally don't think so. However, from a different degree, a company with hundreds of billions of dollars inside of it, yeah, if they just put their balance sheet on, well, yeah, I mean, if they put 1 billion like Tesla, that's a huge amount of money then, right? Because, I mean, if 1% is just 93 million, it just depends on how you look at it. However, Bank of America strategists have estimated that it takes an inflow of just 93 million to move the Bitcoin price by 1%, which is something I find interesting because I've told you guys before, market cap and how much money it would take to go somewhere are not equal. The market cap does not reflect how much money it would take to move the price. It's not like going up 100% in terms of market cap would actually mean that there needs to be an inflow of $1 trillion all of a sudden, or $5 trillion or whatever. That doesn't work that way. It's a little bit more difficult and a little bit cheaper than that, because it usually is just it goes kind of in steps, even though there's not necessarily as much money being added. Think about it this way, right? If all of a sudden we all decide to not sell any Bitcoin anymore below $100,000, that does not mean that there's actually an influx of all of a sudden $800 billion. No, it could just be, for example, an agreement, and it could be just $1 worth of trades all of a sudden, or $1 worth of purchases coming in that actually take the price higher if people are just agreeing or willing to purchase it at those higher prices. And all of a sudden, our money is worth double as much. Is just because of agreements. Not allowed, obviously, but you guys get the idea, right? That it's not necessarily a huge influence going to cause it. It could just be the demand all of a sudden being way higher, or the supply just being a lot less, and people all of a sudden valuing something way higher. Does not mean necessarily that the inflow is also the exact same thing. Because, for example, $1 million could actually literally increase the market cap by 10 million. Whatever. Moving on, Ripple versus SEC court grants motion to dismiss and strikes its schedule. I talked about it before, but guys, check out the video for all the dates. They are quite important for you to have in the back of your head, not because they will actually increase or lower the price necessarily, but they could, and so you know exactly what you are up against if you are an XRP holder. You know exactly what's happening. You got kind of the timeline in your head, and that's very important because the lawsuit surrounding XRP is one of the most important factors for the XRP price. No, scratch that. It is the most important factor for the XRP price right now. And having said that, go check out GSX, guys. A link will be down below. You guys all know it, all right? You guys all know it. I personally have a couple $1,000s in this, and I'm hoping it's going to go big, all right? Right now, it's 10 cents a coin, plus a 5% bonus, plus a 5% bonus for using my link, so a 10% bonus in total. And there's just a couple more days to go. So if you didn't check it out already, go check it out. I personally have quite a lot of money inside of it. And I know it can't go wrong. I know we can lose everything, but I'm hoping to get a times 25 or times 40 return on my money because it's the first of its kind.